my butt, and I'm on the line. At least I'm alive, right? I haven't won anything yet, but he's done. If he continues in his momentum, he's dead. I walked around the circumference of that circle we talked about. All right, let me show you that again. He comes in, I step off, he comes in again, I wander around the circumference of that circle, and he dies. Okay? This works well. You need to have an upright pose. Okay? You need to be willing to move. Your weight needs to be on the balls of your foot. You have to have a calm mind. When he comes, you have to be willing first to retreat, then to walk the circle. You see what that did to our blade relationship? How much I gained dominance over him? At first he closed the line and we thought he had it, right? Boom! But as soon as my foot went here, he was done. I have all the leverage on his leg.
I can't actually stop his momentum.
Yeah.
This person who's charging like that, you can't stop this. So have faith that they're that dumb.
So let's talk about the momentum. Understand that when you charge someone, you are increasing the force of the blow you will receive. You are truly multiplying the amount of force your opponent will deliver to you, no matter how light they intend to hit you. Understand that when you do that, you are forcing your opponent to make that choice. You are saying, I'm going to run at you, and you are now faced with the terrible choice of either possibly hurting your opponent in the process of their charge, or losing the bout, or possibly being harmed yourself because their force is multiplied by the weight behind their rate. Does that make sense? There is a difference between a charge and an intense press. Michael, I want you to press me. Just go on either side like you do. 1, 2. You see how he presses me? Does anyone think that's not aggressive?
Stay over there.
You see what I am? You can be aggressive and still remain at your proper distance. Does that make sense? You can intensely come forward without running. You just don't need to do it. All right, so now we know why charging is done, right? And now we have a few ideas as to how to beat it. So let's say you're short, okay? Let's say you're vertically challenged, and you constantly run into people who are taller than you, and you just don't have an answer. Now I'm going to give you some answers. How do you beat the tall guy? And who is the brigand here? You must encounter this. You know.
Before you change
Yes.
the scenario like this, what have you found that works against Erin?
Her?
Yes.
Specifically, let's get to that at the end.
Okay.
I can talk about some specific people. And I will give you those things because I have found some things that work.
Thank you.
The short answer is what I just did. Those principles are how you do it, but there's a certain time. All right, so on your guard. So now, how does she beat me? How does she? My advantage is time, right? Because I have a long weapon and a long arm and a long reach. My advantage is time. Okay? Distance and time are the same. Essentially. When I come on guard with her, she needs to make my time go away. She has to take it away from me. Okay? And she needs to do this very, very carefully. And I'm going to talk briefly about an Italian fencing concept called constraint. Okay? How I constrain the body and the sword of my opponent. If anyone took the gaining the blade class, did you take that gaining the blade class? This is a very similar concept. But for shorter fighters, I actually like to extend the amount of movement to the constraint because it gains you more. So the first key rule when you talk about constraint as a shorter fighter, or anyone, is that your hand moves before your foot. Your foot is rooted to the ground, and thus it moves slower than your hand. So your hand is the fastest. Okay? My hand holds the tool that is going to clear the line, that's going to protect me. And this is the best tool. It isn't your dagger. I don't care if it tells you otherwise. This is the best tool. Okay? On guard. Why is this the best tool? Tell me. Anybody have an answer from the context of the class? Why do you think this might be the best tool?
Distance, further away.
Distance.
You're out of measure.
I have an advantage of time. The sword gives me an advantage of time. The dagger is time. All right. Anyway, so the first thing I need to do if I'm going to constrain brigand is get some. Never mind. My hand is going to move, and I'm going to turn my true edge slightly towards her weapon. But then I'm going to step behind my sword. This is key. So I'm here, and I step behind my weapon. Now I have gone away from the diameter, and she can lunge upon it, and I'm safe. Does everybody see that? However, I still threaten myself. Does that make sense? So now, in order for her to strike me, she has to take a longer line. Either she steps and I can strike her, or she disengages my weapon and I can strike her in the time. Does that make sense? Furthermore, she's made slower because I have made her take a spiral towards me as opposed to a straight path. We all know that the straight line is the fastest distance between 2 points. I just forced her into a spiral, which means that it takes her more time to get to me. The only reason I can stop this guy from killing me is this principle right here. So there you go. Here's your gift.
Every cow gets
Because I constrain the body, I make them slower. I literally take speed from them. Does that make sense? All right. So how does that work with these? It's my advantage. It's an advantage of time. All she has to do is constrain me to make my time longer, right? All right. So go ahead and constrain. So you're going to move your hand here. Step behind it. Stay there. Now I am constrained. Okay. If I strike on this line, I will come into measure and I will die. Right? And if I disengage this line, do you see how she gained time on me by coming towards me? If I disengage this line, all she has to do is reach out and just straight on straight. Not move your feet at all. Okay? Does it make sense, everybody? All right. Thank you. That is how a shorter person beats a taller person. Right? You constrain their body and their weapon. You are going to risk your life doing it. Like I said, it's irrefutable that if I take a step into measure, I'm risking my life, right? There is a moment of danger for you, but it's a great moment of danger. And many of the Italian fencing masters, I think there's Roberts that said that is the greatest moment of danger, right? It is the greatest moment of danger for you when you step into measure. So you take all precaution. I reach out, then my foot follows, and if I am safe, I can either strike, or if they give me a moment, I can strike. Any moment they give me will bring them into my place. Does that make sense? I don't have to charge them at all. I don't have to risk my life at all. All I have to do is constrain their body. If you want to beat me, and you're worried about my height, constrain my body and my sword. You'll be very successful. Trust me, and I'll be now annoyed tomorrow as everybody steps me fits. Somebody's speed of body is faster than someone's speed of hand. Does that make sense? I couldn't put that more clearly. Thank you. That is exactly the point. Your hand is faster than their body. If you use your hand well, you'll win. All right? Nothing I teach is kryptonite. There are still people who are going to charge you if you do these techniques, and they're still going to hit you. That's not the point. You will do better and better and better in fencing against normal fencers and against fencing in people who choose this tactic if you apply these ideas to your fight. Does that make sense, everybody? Let me borrow mine. How else? So I have an advantage of time on Michael. So how does he kill me? Well, the point of his sword. How does he get there? All right? So what he will do is set me into motion and steal my time from me. Okay? The Italians would call this contratempo, counter time. I like to think of it as stealing time from you. Okay? And this will answer your question. This is how. So what he will do is he will move to my blade, right? And he will set me into motion and step behind that motion to get to a place where he can strike me. Does that make sense? Yeah, and I was dead. I was dead. Now, he crosses a plane of danger, but because my line is doing this and not this, he's got me. Does that make sense? So you can constrain. Come on, guard. Go ahead and constrain off the outside. So now he constrains, right? Oh, now I'm in trouble. I go, and he steps in behind. Now I'm in big trouble. You see what I'm saying? That's how he beats me. That's how he gets past my advantage of time, and it takes him no time at all to do it. It's so fast. And it's so much safer for him and me than if he were to just rush at me. Does that make sense? It's a smarter way to fence. It is a more studied way to fight, and it will lead to better success. How many people who bull rush like that constantly, and I don't include your wife in that. She actually has a little bit more constrained kind of who run at that. When do they hit that wall? They hit a wall of success. When do you think that is, Bob?
Usually pretty fast,
Yeah.
and then they go nowhere.
Right. What happens is they will fight in their local group, and they will use this technique a lot, and they'll beat people about 6 out of 10 times, and that's good enough for them in their local group. They're like, I go home, I was great.
You have one.
They will then go to a tournament, right? And they will try to apply this, and they'll get through 3 or 4 rounds, and they will be cold stopped by people who understand how to deal with it. and they won't progress past that. You're nodding your heads. Have you seen this happen in your own world? Yeah, absolutely. They will not progress until they learn